So from time to time, we get the opportunity to highlight a member of the Certified Commercial Property Inspectors Association. And in this particular session, uh, we're highlighting KC Bartley. He's reached out to us, and I want to share a little bit of his story. Welcome, KC.
Nice to be here. My pleasure, Rob.
Excellent. So I got to get it out of the way. What's KC stand for?
Kenneth Charles. And if anybody called me that, I would never respond. I've been KC since birth, 47 years, my friend.
So you went through grade school and everything as KC.
Yes, like I said,
That's outstanding. You
Kenneth,
never,
I ever heard it.
you see, John Roberts, and they might be JRs or something, and or a junior even. And so I always, whenever I see initials, that's usually my first question. So you're with Professional Home Inspections LLC,
Yes, sir. Yes,
and
sir.
and I see that by a choice, you've kept home inspections in your name.
I have. I didn't start, and I know where you're going. I didn't start commercial until probably 6 years. I'm 10 years in total. So about 6 years in, I started commercial. And so for anybody watching this, take the advice that Rob's about to give you. Leave home out of your company name, because then it's a whole rebranding. And I've thought of a sister company, but everybody in my area knows Professional Home Inspections. And so I've just rolled with it.
It's all good. It's one of those. Uh, it's a choice, and it depends on because you're in Kingsport, Tennessee. So let's start there. Where's Kingsport at?
So we're the northeast corner of Tennessee. We border Virginia to our north, North Carolina to the east. I can be in either one of those states in 30 minutes.
Okay.
So everybody's familiar with Dollywood and
Yeah.
Knoxville, Tennessee, about an hour east.
Okay.
Yes.
So when I think of where you're at, then in that northeast corner, do you maintain a North Carolina license as well?
I do not, nor Virginia. And the reason being, I have stayed busy enough within my home state of Tennessee. I was worried that if I got those licenses, North Carolina and Virginia, they
Mhm.
would have me. North Carolina is beautiful country, and so Southwest Virginia. So I don't want to make any disparaging remarks, but it is in the middle of nowhere. It is very rural in Southwest Virginia.
Fair.
I was worried to death I'd be an hour and a half away in the mountains and in coal hollers, and that's what Southwest Virginia is about.
Yeah.
I've stayed with my Tennessee license, and if I ever need to pick it up, I may.
Fair enough. Well, we might come back to that. So you said earlier that you're 10 years in your career.
Yes, sir.
Talk a little bit about what your personal non-inspection background is.
So I'm 47. When I was 19, my stepfather hired me. He did remodeling, type exterior remodeling, so decks, siding, windows. Worked with him for about 3 years, and just I could read a tape measure well, picked up pride, and within 3 years I purchased my own truck, my own tools, and started subcontracting for just multiple contractors in the area: Lowe's, Home Depot, Window World, just anybody to make a buck, do some jobs. Did that for years, and then said, hey, I'm gonna grow and start my own brick and mortar company. And so I got my contractor's license when I was 31. Hired a couple 1099 installation crews, had an office manager, and it was the most stressful time of my life, man. Just managing others. I found out I'm not a good manager. I'm a very
Mhm.
nice guy, and so I couldn't. Hey, we need it done this way, and I need it done Friday. I was like, hey guys, it's fine. Take your time. Yada yada yada. So anyway, I went out of business 5 years later, and so at 36, it led me to home inspections. Never thought of them in my life, and God actually popped in my head and said home inspections. Researched it, found InterNACHI, knocked out the InterNACHI requirements within 1 month, and 10 years later, here I am.
So in your inspection experience, 10 years, about how many inspections have you performed?
I would right around 3,000.
Good.
Yes, sir.
Excellent.
Yes,
So
sir.
staying busy. So when you talked about your training, then largely most of your training then is the online InterNACHI courses.
It is. For anybody starting out, you cannot beat InterNACHI. I've been a member of ASHI. I tried it for a couple years. The resources that InterNACHI has is responsible for my success today. They're amazing building blocks, if you will. And I mean, I still get on there to take my CE today, and knock out courses. And Kenton has done an amazing job with a lot of these courses, and then Ben, and Nick, and it helps me tremendously. And I say building blocks, they're great knowledge, and there's advanced courses that you can take. I always encourage people to also take, get your CRT. Bill with Fabian with Monroe is excellent. And then EDI, which we're about to talk about commercial coming up, but EDI with Ron and Mark Goldman and Parlay, man, that knowledge of knowing EIFS, especially in stucco applications when it comes to commercial, is invaluable as well.
Yeah, and I promise we'll get to commercial in a moment.
Sure.
So in 3,000 inspections and in 10 years, I would imagine you've created a very strong methodology for how you navigate a home, how you present the home. Can you talk a little bit about what your personal methodology is?
Sure. A routine that you do not deviate from, for me, and that is, I'm going to inspect the home in the same order, time in, time out. I mean, just over and over again. So, when I pull in the driveway, I'm already looking through the windshield and finding defects to write up. And so when I step out, I may jump around, inside of my report writing software to go ahead and notate those defects. But then I always start with, the driveway, and its effect on the structure. Walkways, looking for trip hazards, its effect on the structure, what have you. The grounds, making several passes around the home and jumping around in report software. If you see something electrical, jumping into the electrical section. If you see something when you're just doing the grounds up on the roof, jumping in the roof section and notating it. But just having that routine, and I can go through it. I mean, it's the grounds and any appurtenances, your decks, porches, patios, what have you. Then up onto the roof surface, proper flashings, condition of the roof covering. Then we come off of the roof, gutters, what have you, come off the roof. Exterior, we're looking at claddings, flashings, windows, doors, on and on into the kitchen. Interior areas, bathrooms, foundation, basement, what have you, garage, electrical, water heater, HVAC. Finish up in the attic and call it a day, my friend. Rinse and repeat.
So we have, and so that's fabulous, because you've got this order and this routine, like you say, you don't deviate from. So what about your personality? Are you I stand on the roof and shout down at my clients, "Oh my goodness, look what I just found," or are you more the bedside manner type inspector?
No, my passion and emotion follows me everywhere. So it does in my inspection. So let's take the one today. I just got home from a residential inspection, about 3,300 square feet, 2009 build. We had downspouts terminating onto the roof surface. So anything that I document, I'm going to have collaborating evidence behind me. It's not my opinion. I'm more of a black and white fact-based inspector, wrong or right. So, downspout terminating on the roof surface, I'm going to include an excerpt from GAF saying that, hey, we don't warranty any damage to the roof covering as a result of downspouts terminating on the roof surface. But the clients were inside of the house. I was on the roof, saw the downspout terminating, and looked at the shingles below and the roof deck, which would be below the shingles, but looking at that surface, and it was not uniform. So I went over there and put my foot on it. If I wanted to, I could have stomped through the roof in that area. So I was like, whoa, because it's pretty rare to find that with a downspout termination. We must have had some type of step flashing or something that was off right there, letting some water in. So I was going to holler, but I called the client and I said, hey guys, come out to the driveway. They came out to the driveway and I said, can you see where my foot is? And they said, yes. So I kind of pushed my foot on the roof surface and you could see the give. And but no, I don't blow things out of proportion or scare them. but I am going to let them know when there's a problem, and that problem, would need an invasive evaluation to determine the extent of the damage.
Sure,
Yes,
sure.
sir. Yes, sir.
So after 6 years of doing residential, so now about 4 years ago, you decided, commercial.
Yes.
Why?
I got tired of turning down phone calls saying that I wasn't comfortable with commercial or I didn't know commercial.
Okay. So
Yes.
what'd you do to increase your comfort zone?
Study. And I know IRC, NEC, IPC, but I didn't really know IBC. And now that I do know it somewhat, it mirrors IRC in a lot of ways, but there are some differences as well. So just tried to read up on IBC. I always, when I first started out, I excluded ADA, OSHA, and any NFPA requirements. Now I'm getting a little more comfortable with ADA, and so I'll make some notations if I see, it's not an ADA inspection. I'll let them know that, but I'll call out some ADA defects, and then that's what I like with CCPIA and the courses is the life safety. I mean, I've learned a ton about life safety, fire extinguishers, exit signs, egress, just through the CCPIA courses. And, my comfort level has grown tremendously with industrial style or retail style commercial. Now, multifamily, is pretty much residential, but once you break into to industrial and retail, it's nice to have those CCPIA courses to kind of show you where to go.
Sure. So how much of your residential methodology is translated over to your commercial?
100%. I mean, the
Yeah.
same as far as methodology. It's. I hate that my competitors are. I hate to say competitors. Local inspectors are going to see this because it's a secret. It's cards I try to hold close to my chest.
Sure.
Commercial may be easier than residential once you get the backbone. There's no emotion from the
Right.
renters like there is and the buyers like there is in residential. Big wide open spaces. I really enjoy commercial. So
Sure.
like I said, I didn't mean to say competitors because I want the best.
No, I call them co-opetition because they're colleagues that I have to sometimes have competition with to win the same work. But at
Sure.
the end of the day, they're colleagues.
That's right. That's right. Better terminology. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, there was an article we recently posted this year on how difficult it is to consider residential inspectors in the 1099 world. But in commercial, it's very easy. So all of those local inspectors up there that you could be pulling in from North Carolina, Virginia, or Northern Tennessee could be one time helping you on a giant project.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
makes it really easy for that.
sure.
So so 6 years ago, or I'm sorry, 4 years ago, you decided that hey, I'm gonna do commercial. What did you do to help other than just answer the phone and say yes? What have you done to help foster a little bit more commercial business for you?
So this is where I won't be able to help others because they won't want to follow my path. This is a different conversation or a different way of approaching it as me being a solo inspector firm in comparison with multi-inspector who needs a lot more volume to fill the books. Uh,
Sure,
I simply, with residential and commercial, 100%, 95% word of mouth.
sure,
That's how I get my business. I do not market to realtors. I do no PPC or any type of advertising like that. I simply let others speak of me. Now I did create a website. If you type in commercial inspection Kingsport, Tennessee, I'm more than likely going to be one of the top three that pops up. So that helps for your researchers that are
mhm,
looking for a commercial inspector. If I had, a multi-inspector firm, yes, I would want to go out and court commercial realtors and would possibly be something that I would do in the future as I enjoy doing commercial and would like to see it take over a larger percentage of my, work volume in comparison with residential. So,
sure.
sir,
Sure. I
Yes.
mean, if those that listen to me have heard me speak at all, I built an entire company without courting realtors. 100%, because the consumer is a better advocate for me and an easier, they're an easier find. And so
Yeah.
you're right, building the website, having word of mouth. You can run a very successful cottage commercial inspection business, run an 80-20 or 90-10 consumers versus realtor referrals.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
what's the largest project you've done so far? Non-multifamily.
Probably just last week, a local municipality is purchasing an old building, 1956. I believe it's around 22,000 square feet. And I wish I could add a picture. Maybe I can email it to you afterwards because this blew my mind. But so I'm looking at it from the exterior, and we have a hip roof, metal roof panels, large brick structure with CMU masonry walls. And so I'm looking at it. I'm like, okay, hip roof. And I'm walking around the structure, starting on the outside, the methodology, we were
Yep.
just talking about. And I'm thinking, where are the HVAC units? So I get inside. Yes, we have HVAC. I go into the attic. Low slope roof is still present. So are three RTU units in the attic, gas-fired furnaces, with AC units. And so, I mean, we're 92 here today with 85% relative humidity. And I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
There's people in the country that have a lot worse than us. But that attic, had to be 125 degrees. So that compressor, man. I mean, it is putting that loop oil lubricating, the bearings in the compressor, man, it will overheat that oil, turn it acidic, so that's why there were three RTUs in the attic. That's why two of them weren't functional. We had one functional, but they retrofitted these things to where you've usually got that little deflector hood for your exhaust gases. They cut into the RTU enclosure and added a 10-inch round 26 gauge duct. And instead of running it outside, just ran it to like a little gable dormer on this hip roof. Didn't even terminate outside, just kind of pointed toward this gable dormer for ventilation. It was crazy. It was crazy, man. I'll have to send you a picture.
So it's amazing how you can take, and this is where I think those that watch this will kind of gather from. You can take those basic principles that you've developed through 10 years of experience and start and walk to a project, even if it's larger than you've ever done before. And you're able to extrapolate out, A plus B is not C.
That's right.
Something's wrong. And even though you may not have ever seen it before, you can go, I got this. And
So
isn't that fun?
awesome. Awesome. That's the experience that you all have provided for us, or with the education. 9 times out of 10, more than that, 99 times out of 100, if something doesn't look right, it's probably not. You just got to dig in and find out why and the repercussions.
Yeah. And the good thing, and you alluded to it earlier, Casey, that commercial doesn't have any emotion. There's no passion. It's a
Yes.
business acquisition.
Yes.
And if you read the COMSOP, the Commercial Standards of Practice, we don't have to deal with causation. All we have to do is go up to that wonderful old flat roof that now has a 10 hip on it and say, not right, further redo.
Yes, sir.
And you get to walk away going, I did it. High five. Can't wait to go home and tell my family.
Yes. Yes. And it is easier. And the client loves you for it. And you're exactly right. I am notorious for being overly detailed, wanting to tell people everything I can about something. They're not really interested in that in commercial. They want to know what's wrong and who they should contact so they can get quotes
Yes.
and deal with it.
So,
Yes, sir.
so let me ask you this, Casey. What's your milestones for 2025? What's your stretch goal, and what's your milestone and stretch goal for 2035?
Goodness, my friend. I try to stay in the moment, if you will, but just continued success. I
Uh-huh.
think I put in the little interview questionnaire. You know, I like helping people.
Sure.
It's not, I want to get paid for what I do. Sure, we all do, but helping people is just such a rewarding feeling so just hey, do less inspections, make more money, and continue to help people. Yes, sir. Continue to broaden my knowledge base so that I can deliver people all the information I can and help, my friend.
Sure.
Yes,
So I had asked you at the beginning, uh, if you're licensed in Virginia and North Carolina, because one of the major advantages for commercial inspection, not residential, is our lack of boundary.
yes,
You have an opportunity to stretch your wings and go where your clients want. Now, the exception is I know North Carolina does have some stipulations. And in my conversation with the licensing board at North Carolina, while they don't license commercial inspectors, they do strongly encourage anybody doing commercial inspection to have a residential license.
yes, sir.
But that doesn't prohibit you from getting one. That doesn't prohibit you from going to Virginia tomorrow. So I would say that to you. You certainly do have that opportunity, and that's what's nice with especially a small, beautiful boutique firm like you run. You run us, and you don't have any desire to grow beyond yourself, and I get that.
Yes,
But one of the ways that we can survive doing commercial inspections is to be able to have that dexterity to go where we want to go, to charge what we want to charge, and have a lesser competition pool, because in residential we know that there are a lot of inspectors.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So as a 10-year vet, knuckling through these inspections and scraping heads on nails and attics, and burning fingertips on roof surfaces. As a girl dad, are you encouraging your girls to follow you, or are you telling them to stay away?
Oh, I'd love for them to. So I have one to be 15 next month, one that's 11. The 15-year-old, she is very disciplined. She's going to be a radiologist. She knows it at 15. She will be a radiologist. I know it. The 11-year-old is very interested in what dad does. I'll show her pictures, and so she knows about grading. She'll be like, "What happened
Yeah.
today? Was the grading wrong? Or was there water in the basement?" I could seriously see her doing it, and I'd love nothing more. It's an amazing career, and a rewarding career, and a profitable career, and I think more women, and there's a lot of women in it now, but I think more women will become, will start to move toward this industry. The women are amazing communicators, and I mean, just technical and observant, and I think more and more women will move into the field, and I'd love it if my daughter ever wanted to do it because she could make a good living at it.
Are you taking her on inspections now?
I have. I actually made
Good.
I've dropped off TikTok here in the past few months, but we actually had a TikTok video together, and she just loved it and smiled, we were probing some wood, and it would sink in there, and her little gasps, and so absolutely, yeah, man, me take
I
her on.
started taking my children when they were 8.
All
Uh,
right.
as long as I could trust them to test the receptacle, then I could trust them to come on an inspection. And to this day, both my kids are much older than 8 now. My daughter's in education, and she still to this day tells me how much she valued
Oh,
coming on those inspections, because that set her up for success just in the discipline of the maneuver, the going through a building. And that's why I always ask that methodology question, because having a plan an organized plan, and I call plan of attack on a building,
Yes.
sets each inspector up for success. And I know for me, I have one of each, a boy and a girl, but having, as a girl dad, teaching that success early. I know she talked about it last time I talked to her on what she has learned through herself, and I know she's even talked about inspections in her summers. Um, I've I don't know that you could do that much part time, but uh, I do value that. So you don't have a specific goal for next year. Let's just let it come where it comes, and
Keep on keeping on, my friend.
all right.
It's a blessing when you're not chasing growth, if you will. Like I said, more profit, I would never complain about, but just continuing what's been happening, man. And I'm a happy guy, my friend. Happy
That's
guy.
good.
Yes,
That's good.
yes.
Well, do you have any tips you want to leave those that are watching this on how uh, a success that you had could translate pretty easy over to them?
Oh, it absolutely could. It is keep learning. And as you know, Rob, and I don't know
Yeah.
how long you've been at this, 30 years. You know what to say. You know what to say. But, there comes times when you think, I hate to say this, but gosh, I know a lot or I know it all. If you ever say that, you're just scratching the freaking surface. It
Oh
is
yeah.
some of these systems are so deep, and when you think you've got it figured out, that's when you're really just starting. I mean, it's just so just keep learning. Take all the CE you can. Listen to guys who've been doing it for years and years, and implement what they've done. Try to mimic what they've done, but just keep learning. And none of us are perfect, but strive for perfection. Do the very best you can every time. Take pride in your inspection and your finished product, which is the report. And if you do those two things and do all of that ethically with honestly reporting on what you see, you'll never look for work.
No. No, AI can't take our place.
No, it cannot. No,
No.
no,
No.
sir.
You're absolutely right, though. Educate, learning every day. I have an inspection tomorrow. I'm excited about it because I'll learn something. I'll learn a lot somethings tomorrow. We've got a bunch of new courses coming out very, very, very soon based
Awesome.
on live inspections, and that's why I'm out there doing a few exercises. But 100% every day I learn something. If that's the best advice you can give somebody, I mean, I'm going to scream it on the top of the streets. Education, learn, eyes open.
Never stops, my friend. Yes, sir.
Nope.
Yes,
Nope.
sir.
Thank you, Casey, for taking some time out of your day. I look forward to hearing more about your successes and some bigger properties and better experiences, and who knows, coming down the line, maybe next time I'm in Tennessee, we can get together and share a class together.
My pleasure, Rob. I'd love to. It'd be awesome, my friend. And let's get everybody down to Orlando, buddy. I'm looking forward to shaking your hand and several hands, and I look forward to it, my friend.
That'd be terrific, Casey. Thank
Yes,
you
sir.
again for spending some time with us.
Very welcome, Rob.